On the topic of illusion, back with Denise Vitiello, Vice President of Sales for the Spa and Wellness Division for Comfort Zone, a fabulous global brand that we all know. And Denise, we are going to talk about, on the illusion theme, how we do business when so much is seen by the guest, but so much needs to be not seen by the guest, right? Mm-hmm. And from your standpoint, I mean, you are on both sides of the aisle, have been. You were a spa director for many years. It's been many years now on the brand side. What do you think are the keys to keeping the invisible part invisible, what people should not see when in the business world?
Ooh, that's a good question. First of all, thank you for having me. I think this is very honorable to be asked to speak. And yes, I have been on both sides. And so I think the key to making things work in a positive way to get the end result that you want is there's a lot of, I think a lot of strength in humbleness, humility, and hard work.
The H's.
Yeah, right? The H's. I think that really empowering the team and the people that you work with in your community, your team members, whomever it is, whether it's in operations or in the sales side of it, taking a leadership role from behind, I think, has been, to me, quite successful because if you can build an army of really people, a group of individuals who are inspired, who have mentorship or are mentors to other people that really believe in the alignment that you're trying to get, I think all things are possible. So whether it's in a guest engagement through a spa operation or trying to get a B2B new business, I think that when you have a team of people who are aligned by inspiration and hard work, a lot of that is very possible.
It's good to hear you say that about the leader. I think, and especially being a female in a leadership position, I think sometimes we feel like we have to have all the answers and we have to be leading from the front. And I loved what you said about leading from behind. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Of course. I think in life we've all been led by others, and I think no one wants to be told what to do. We all have a little bit of stubbornness in us, and I think everybody deserves an opportunity to allow their creativity to flow and shine. And sometimes when you're leading from the front, it's more dictated and not as authentic. I think having authenticity and inspiring people to bring out their true colors, with doing things kind of in the shadows, in the background, to really listen to what they're good at and making them feel good about it, it just makes everything so much better. So everyone wants a chance to shine, and true leaders, I think, allow their team and their colleagues to do so.
So it sounds like that's a skill you need to develop, is being a person who doesn't need to hog the spotlight.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have enough ego that you're comfortable being in the back, as it were.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where the humility comes into it, right? So 100%, I think everybody deserves their chance in the spotlight, all puns intended. But really what makes a true leader, I believe in my experience, is watching everybody else shine around you and learning. So having that humility to learn from your team. Leaders don't always know everything, you know? And I think that one of the best things to being successful is always having the open-mindedness to learn from who you surround yourself with.
Well, that's a great point, which we could dive into in the theme of invisibility, because you want to lead this team, and you said everyone wants to shine. They do. I mean, who doesn't mind having their name called out, right? You did a great job. But as the leader, how do you find out the strengths and the hidden components of the team you're working on? And in your case, I'm sure they're not all in the office with you.
Right, absolutely. Well, I think it's also a lot of feedback from other people and asking them. Sometimes people in a leadership role fail to ask their team, where are your highlights? What do you like to do? What makes you feel the best about who you are and what you do? And I think a lot of times people are so stubborn in leadership roles that they forget to be simple and just say, I want you to do your best. How can I help you be your best? What do you feel your biggest strengths are? And how can I support you to do that?
So being a good leader involves asking questions, not always having answers.
100%. I don't think everyone ever has all the answers. And I think showing the ability to be humble and learn from them, as well as showing strength in times of need, and showing them by acting by example, not telling them what is right or wrong, but showing them, I think also works. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with, there's a phrase, God gives you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen twice as much as you talk. And so in a leadership role, I think one of the most important things I believe is being a good listener and understanding how to turn that into inspirational action.
I love that. So in terms of creating spa experiences, I mean, you worked at a big brand on the front, the consumer side. Now you're at a big global brand on the brand side. And consumers want a lot out of their spa and wellness experience. They're spending more than they ever did. And it's more than just a facial and a massage now. They want a transformative experience.
Right.
I mean, how are we able to provide that in a way that seems invisible and yet is meaningful?
It's true. We sell an intangible experience. So, a lot of, especially in luxury, a lot of spas as well as brands charge a lot, and the consumer demands experience as well as results. And how to deliver that intangible experience is through creating memorable experiences, a lot of times through the senses, but really having value to it, not fluffy. I think authenticity rolls into that a lot. People need value. They want to find value in, whether it's because it's so intangible. A lot of times spa experiences require the energy exchange that you are inspiring the team members to work on with that guest. And so they have a beautiful, memorable experience. It takes creativity, but also when that exchange is occurring, you can't control it. You're selling something they can't see, touch, or feel. Always having an environment that has positive energy. And I think that's impossible, but we can always try. And I remember even when in my operation days, we used to do daily briefings before we would start each shift, and we would end it with a positive intention. And I think Disney does this best, right? So leave your personal life on the other side of the bridge before you walk over into Disney World. And we kind of had that same kind of mindset of like, okay, we're all human, we all have stuff, and everybody has real life situations, but please, let's leave that behind and let's put our energy into this beautiful experience that we're about to have today, and we can only get what we put into it at the end. So having people walk away feeling like, wow, I don't know what that really was, and you can't still see it, whether it was by touch or an experience that they had with product or whichever way, but having them leave feeling very satisfied, I think. And that just happens through energy a lot of times.
I think I've been to the Comfort Zone HQ a few times in Parma, and it is just a great experience to go there. I remember making pasta one night with a team of people there, the people that you just met, and it really does build that caring culture. I mean, it's Italian, right? I mean, I can say that I'm Italian.
Yeah.
We have a connecting culture, but sometimes you have to transcend that in business.
Right.
And I think Comfort Zone, like one of the first companies in our industry to be a certified B Corp, something not visible to the consumer. Nobody buys the product and, because of that. And yet it was so important to Davide Bellotti and the leadership to do that. Are there other ways you would say the brand has that invisible culture behind it?
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned something really important. And the purpose for Comfort Zone is to be the best for the world, not in the world.
I love that.
Through sustainability, ethics, and by doing the right thing, really. And that is all in silence, right? So a lot of brands say we want to be the best in the world. Comfort Zone really is, I believe, and I'm inspired by the brand's purpose, because we educate others how to be good people, and not just in a spa environment or just about products, but by doing the right thing. And with that exchange of doing, whether it's philanthropic endeavors or it's about sustainability, recycling and repurposing things like that. But there's an energetic euphoria that people feel when they do the right thing. And I think a lot of other people are inspired by that, and they're aligned with their values. I think it's very humble for Davide and Comfort Zone to put so much effort and energy in the purpose and really leading with it, where it's not selfish. And I think that I love working with the company, and I've been there over 8 years now because it makes me proud. And when you get to do things and you get to see things that are through philanthropic experiences around the community, around the globe, it makes your heart feel good and it makes you feel proud to do that. So I think that's all in silence. And they don't talk about it enough, but I am very proud to be a part of that. And I think it's really a movement. And in B Corp, we're actually a benefit corporation, not just a B Corp. So there's a deeper purpose behind all of the intentions that are going towards doing the right thing.
Well, it's a tremendous amount of work to do all of that. And as you said, it's still invisible, but it's there. And it does fuel the people that work there. I mean, the pride of working there for a company that actually cares. They don't just say they do, you know, they're walking the walk. And that's sort of that thin line that we tread in performing spa treatments in a spa or in a wellness facility, where the guest is coming for a perceived treatment and we want to deliver that and more, and an experience that resonates with them. But we want to do it in a way that's not clunky or complicated. And it sounds like, oh, sure, but that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Many steps, much training, getting people to buy in with you, having leadership that is doing it the right way. I mean, what can help create a culture like that? What are the touchstones for that?
I think, we've mentioned this earlier, but really walking the talk and believing in the purpose that you stand for and really doing the right thing. It does take a lot of consistency, and I think when you incorporate consistency into any intention, it becomes a natural habit and a natural way of life. So I think inspiring other people to do the right thing by doing that, it kind of pays it forward. And it's a rolling effect. So when we work with a lot of our local spas and we do community engagements and we're doing things that make them feel good and they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, and we will encourage and inspire people to do so, it becomes a way of their life. And so I think being consistent and really engaging in it yourself and walking by example and doing all the things that we like to share and practice and preach.
Let's talk a little bit about innovation and how that happens. I think it's another invisible component of a product or a business. We know when something's new and we haven't seen it before, but we don't know as a consumer what went into getting it there.
Right.
I mean, you're always introducing cutting-edge products, delivery systems, technologies. I mean, what does it take to have a team that can find those opportunities?
Well, this is where I think Comfort Zone is amazing, because we stand for conscious skin science. And really, those are our 3 pillars. But I believe we have an entire panel of experts that are comprised of all types of walks of life. And you wouldn't expect in skincare, right? So there's a panel of different doctors. Well, so not just dermatologist, but we work with a psychologist because how stress affects your skin, nutritionist, the food you eat, how it resonates with how your body responds, and your skin is your largest organ.
Right.
Fitness, that's another thing. How much people are, or lack thereof, working out, doing the right thing in the active part of the world. How does your skin respond to that? So when you take, and we also have a pharmacognosist who is also on our team. And Dr. Simon, he's amazing.
Even pharmacognosist?
Yeah,
What?
pharmacognosist. So it's the study of plant life in a medicinal purpose. So his 100% job is finding out the medicinal aspect of any plant life. And so we have the Rodale Institute in Europe. We have Iraq, which is the European Rodale Institute, where you literally study the plant life and with or without organic farming, all that great stuff, but also they educate other people in Europe how to farm properly so it's clean from the ground up. So many beautiful things. So there's a lot of things in the background and a lot of experts that come together for one intention, and it's how to do the things very simply but very best with the highest thought process from every aspect of life. And for anything to go to market, it goes through all of these different panels and expert perceptions of how they feel it would respond. So before any product hits anything, it's put through a litany of in-depth testing from all walks of life. So I think having that holistic approach to really caring about how people behave and act in life, and it's not just topical skincare. We believe in the joy of beauty. That's why we're very big also with Comfort Zone believes in the arts, and you've been with us when we've been in Italy and we've gone to ballet or an opera or...
We had dinner in a beautiful castle once.
Yep. And there was an orchestra there,
Yes.
right? So how does music make you feel? And if you feel beautiful inside because something is calming you and it makes you feel good, we believe in the joy of beauty resonating from within. So it's not just aesthetic topically, but it's the food you eat, the clean food, the fun, the music, the joy. There's always a little bit of play in life. We can't always take life too seriously. And I think that when you culturally experience, when we experience a meal together and take our time and eat beautiful food and engage with the people around us and really have beautiful conversations while there's maybe music or dancing or something happening, there's something inside people that kind of switches and it makes you feel beautiful. So we want aesthetically, topically, we want you to feel pretty, but we want you to feel beautiful naturally through all of the arts.
Well, that sounds like it comes right out of Italy,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
It totally does.
Culture, food, people, beauty, all of those are things that you feel when you go to Italy. So how wonderful that your brand can deliver that in a jar.
Right. Well, and we try and do it as well in our spas. So it sounds great. Not everybody can go to Italy, right? So in real life, we know that. But what we try and do is recreate events or engagements with our community at our different spas, so that we will start with having some beautiful music, maybe live trio or something, have an aperitivo, have some beverages offered. And while going through some kind of hands-on experiences with Comfort Zone products, we're allowing people to immerse themselves in that environment of joy and pleasure.
And why wouldn't you want that then? So
Right.
when you have that product in your bathroom and you reach for it every day and you have a sense of joy,
Right.
what better?
Right, because as we all do respond to the nostalgia of how products or memories work through the senses, we really take a lot of effort and time to create those moments so that when it's your time, and as women particularly, we're doing 95 things, we're all busy, we're stressed, we're running around like crazy, we have personal life dramas happening, but when we go into our bathroom at the evening and we're having our me time and it feels good and we're smelling something that resonates with some beautiful experience or memory or something that makes you feel good, it's reminding yourself, I'm giving back to me now. And so that's one thing I think that Comfort Zone is really good at, is creating that me time in an experiential way that people make time for it and they don't skip it, because we all deserve that.
Well, and it's meaningful, Denise, and I like that we're talking about illusion, but the business and the components are not an illusion. They are real, strong pillars that happen to support these concepts. It's nice to say all the words we're saying that sound good, but it's not really a business strategy until you can really put some muscle behind it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that that's where the leading from behind, we are surrounded by amazing people that we get to work with and learn from on a daily basis, that are then paying it forward and inspiring all of our spas, who are then inspiring their consumers and their guests. So it sounds good in theory, but when it's in action and you get that experience from the consumer's perspective or from a brand partner and you're really feeling it, I think that's when a lot of the magic happens.
Well, it's transformative, and that's what people remember. Right. There's so many services that you can have in so many facilities around the world.
Yes.
What is going to make a consumer come back to a certain location? And it isn't the draperies, right? It's like
Right.
the way I felt when I was there, the interactions I had with the people, the products that they use, the equipment that I had my treatment on, the comfort, to coin a phrase, that I felt when I was there, all impacted.
And the therapist. I think the
Sure.
therapist is a very big part of, they're the front lines. So in that energy exchange that they're getting or giving, when the guest leaves and it's what they're walking away with, how do they feel? What intention did they set? Did they get the experience physically as well as emotionally that they needed for investing in themselves to go to a spa and feel well. The therapist is the front line, and I think
Absolutely.
that not enough people give enough importance. It's not product only.
No, you're
it's
right.
the whole thing, and I think it's the frontline people that are the biggest. That's why people return.
Yes. And there's an illusion component there, of course, because the therapist greets you, takes you back to the treatment room, does the consult, performs the treatment, and it feels simple to a guest, but so much went into the training and the protocol and the behind the scenes preparation for them to deliver what looks like a simple treatment.
And I think one thing, Comfort Zone has a beautiful ambassador program around the whole globe, and we try and encourage more therapists to do so, and they have to go through these kind of in-depth, higher level education with Comfort Zone. But one of the beautiful things is before we put any other thing to market, Comfort Zone will go back to the ambassadors around the whole globe and ask them, try this product, tell me how you feel, give me your experience, what is your perception from all parts of the world? And they get to be a part of the future of Comfort Zone by being engaged at that level. And I think putting the power of the professional first and having that ambassadorship around the globe really helps. It's not just us telling them what's going to happen. We're hearing it right from them. So it's truly being a conduit of their voice to a higher scale with their professional opinion, and they're the experts, right? So we are too, but we're just the conduits, and we listen to them and we implement what they have been asking for as well.
That seems like a great idea. I mean, they're the ones touching the guests around the world, which you can't do,
Right.
From a company perspective. So we're in a business that is built a lot on illusion. The way we look and feel are not always visible. I mean, it doesn't make sense when I say that, but I might look in the mirror and say I look pretty, or my hair is a certain way, but it's only today.
Yeah.
Right? It's only in a fleeting moment. And yet we're in a world where consumers want and crave authenticity and connection. We have to make sure as we go forward that we are marrying the two, right? We keep up that illusion and that escape, if you will, that they want from a spa treatment, but there has to be real power and science behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in that. And I also believe here's where connection really comes in. And I know it doesn't necessarily have to do with products, but I think when you are being inspired by your peers or by mentorship or somebody else in the industry, you can reignite that in people. We're all human. We have bad days. Life happens. Not everybody's always on their A game. We don't always have the best hair days. As we age, it's not always so graceful. Right. So I think leaning on our peers in our industry and having those beautiful connections of people like we're in right now in this room, in the setting that we're in, being inspired by other people when we're down, having them lift us up. That's kind of invisible, and it's necessary because we're in the day and age where everybody needs to feel immediately beautiful and hurry, quick fix, and hurry, slow down,
100%.
hurry up to slow down, slow down aging, reverse this. We're fighting an uphill battle, and it's
A losing battle.
and it is a losing battle if you look at it in that way. And that's why I think it's important. Mental wellness and health is so very important, but that's where we come into the community of it, and that isn't on our own. We have to be willing to say, I'm not having the best day, I need a break, or I need help, I need support from you. And I think in our whole industry, whatever position you hold, I think being the open arms sometimes, and sometimes being the one that is needing the help and being humble enough to say, hey, I need a little help today, takes away some of that stress and perfection model that we're all supposed to do, walking around like little Stepford wives.
Well, what you say is true and speaks to the kind of leader you are, as we started with, just being authentic and being comfortable enough in your own capability to not have to steal the spotlight.
Yeah, and I think the older I get, the less I care. I think a lot of people when they're younger say, oh, I want to do this, and it's exhausting, but nobody I think real leadership and the people who I've been inspired by, you is one of them, people in our industry, I've been in it over 30 years now,
Goodness.
that we've all grown up together,
We
and
have.
people that inspire me like yourself and my mentor, Tammy Pale, and, people, we have to realize we're all human at the end of the day, and there's no wand that's going to make us perfect. So I love other people educating me on a daily basis, and if I wake up and say, thank you, God, for giving me another day, and I'm excited what I can learn today and see how I can share a little bit of this through passion or any other thing, as a mom, as a daughter, all these things. We have all these roles and hats that we put on. It's humbleness and gratitude, and keeping those other people who inspire us at a short distance so that we can lean on each other.
Well, that was very eloquently put, Denise. I mean, it is all an illusion after all.
Yes.
And we just keep putting one foot in front of the other and trying to uplift everyone around us. So thank you for doing that for your team. Denise Vitiello of Comfort Zone, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure and an honor. So thank you. I'm very
fun.
grateful for this opportunity.
I am here with Manon Pilon. She is the Director of R&D for Nelly du Vuyst Labs, based in Montreal.
Yes,
You and I have known each other a long time.
long time.
So we're here at the We Work Well event, buyers and sellers, talking about the theme of illusion. And on that theme of illusion, how does it translate? I mean, you work for a company that manufactures and creates products that people use in their daily lives. Tell us a little bit about the scope of Nelly du Vuyst products and brands.
Yes, so actually I've been with the brand since 1983.
Okay.
So it's been some time. I would have to say that if there would be one way to explain the brand is sustainability and results. So we have the magic to actually incorporate ingredients that are usually large molecules like plant, right? When you have a plant-based product, it's such a large molecule does not get into the skin. So we use a technology called diadermic methodology. So we bring it in the skin. So we have 16 collections depending on the skin needs.
That's a lot.
That's a lot because, the future, let's face it, and this is what Madame Nelly du Vuyst used to say, is the future is all about personalizing your skincare. So if you have a need, for example, you have blackhead, you need a product that dissolves blackheads.
Sure.
We don't want to go through the torture anymore. There's technology that, fix that. So from impure skin to, of course, mature, loose skin, products that are like collagen and exosome, for example, to replump the skin, for rosacea, even acne rosacea. So medical grade products was never available for us before. And now finally we have, OTC brand that are registered with FDA and Health Canada that are able to, treat with the therapeutic claim like anti-acne rosacea that are registered, and now it's available. So it's not just for a physician to prescribe, but now is available for you to get at a spa. And that's what people want. They want results, but they want to have results without costing their health and or damaging the planet, right?
Right.
So that's what we have, let's say, that's unique.
So in your role as director of the R&D, I mean, how do you focus on where to search for the newest ingredients or delivery methods that are real? Like we have this illusion aspect of product that puts on and we look nice, but there's so much science behind it. How do you start that process?
So, I mean, this is a good question, and I would love to, I would need a day with you, Lisa, but I'll resume it, because now we want to be healthy. We're conscious about health. So it needs to be healthy and then have results. And results doesn't happen overnight. We can create the illusion for one day or 2 days, but we want the long lasting. So we want to target the fibroblast activity, for example. We want to target the cells that will make a difference in time. So that takes about 21 to 28 days. But I'll share with you something that we're so proud. I have to say, 7 years of research, we came about to discover, because one of the biggest problem in our industry in personal care overall is that we cannot replace products like ingredients that are preservatives like phenoxyethanol. And phenoxyethanol is regulated in Europe at 0.5%, but then you have the cumulative effect. So now consumers are getting more educated about all these chemicals affecting your skin. So we're so excited because we have a patent. So we use lichens. We employ indigenous families to cultivate sustainably the lichens.
Lichen like moss from rocks?
Yes,
I love
exactly. So it's a combination of fungi and together with seaweed that actually preserves and respect the microbiota of the skin. So we feel so excited. We finally found a way to replace phenoxyethanol because every good brands will have maybe peptides, pentapeptides. They will have hyaluronic acid or collagen. And majority of them, if you look at the preservative, it's phenoxyethanol. So we found a way. So we now have this patent to offer to all brands so we can save really this planet and save ourselves as as humans and respect go in a healthy way.
Well, that's exciting, and it sounds like a great innovation.
Oh, we're excited.
So how do you as a scientist find innovation? Where do you look?
Well, back in the days, I come from the 80s where you had to do your research and go to a university and go to different publications and be part of organizations so you can access certain scientific data. But today, AI is really helping us to find faster ways. And we have researchers, we have 8 scientists that works with us, that one of them was at the search of Taxol. He was the one who discovered Taxol, which is the replacement of chemotherapy. So we have in plants. So we study every plant and try to discover their benefit. So for example, the lichens I'm talking about is called biolichens. And we had customers that were calling us and say, hey, you change your product brand, like it's all silver now, it's so nice. But what else did you change? Did you change the formula? We said, no, we just changed a preservative. We finally are so excited to have lichens. And then we discovered, they said, no, we feel that we have better results. We see so much improvement. We said, no, it's just 1% and as a preservative, there's nothing else. But we just recently discovered that we have antioxidant and a wound healing benefit from these lichens.
And you didn't know?
No, we didn't know. So it's like a continuous, wow. We
That's
wanted
like
to
a
solve.
gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yes. So we thought we wanted to resolve an issue, which was a preservative that's not synthetic or chemical. Here we found a plant, but now beyond that, we have antioxidant benefit and anti-aging at the end of the day. So protecting ROS, reactive oxygen species, and all of this comes with this, discovery. So it's exciting every day because there's new ingredients coming out on the market every day with new claims but you have to test because those ingredients doesn't mean that they're going to have an effect on your skin. So we try to find these unique properties and benefit of actives within these plants.
Do you have a method, Manon, that you use personally to get in the innovation framework, a mindset? Like, do you see something in nature or on television or, what inspires you?
I think what inspires me personally and my team would be the skin condition. For example, acne rosacea. We knew that acne rosacea, you have all these guests coming into spas and resorts and they have those little bumps on the skin. And you see the redness and a little bit of bumps, but you don't know how to deal with it. So studying the reason, the cause of these bumps. So we discovered the mites, that we have all these mites and microorganisms that lives on our skin. Understanding the skin and then finding the treatment for it and analyzing and finding the treatment. And then the feedback, when you hear clients calling you and say, oh my God, you've changed my skin looks so much better. I've treated so many conditions, severe acne, so severe wrinkly skin or aging skin. We transform, the skin. So we feel so motivated. That's what gives me the energy to go back and search further and found that fountain of youth.
Well, do you get out of the lab ever? It sounds like you live in there.
No, actually I do, and I'm very fortunate. I come to events like this one. I go around the world with different congress that are coming out with new ingredients. I'm very fortunate. We do the entire world of new research. This weekend we're in Thailand, we're in Hong Kong with our team, of course, not just me. Yeah. And I love to go and then, experience, talk to people and say how is this ingredient makes a difference, and then go to the lab and have them test it.
Right.
So it's a continuous research. So we always evolve. So we may have a cream that's called dry skin, but that dry skin cream has evolved so many multiple times because we've gone so much ahead. Like sunscreen, mineral sunscreen. Not many brands have sunscreen. Like, how is it the only product we can actually call anti-aging that you don't carry? It's called an OTC. It's a medical, it's a drug. It's considered an OTC drug, but it's a medication, but we use on our skin to protect our skin. So mineral sunscreen versus chemical. How is it that esthetician or spas are still offering chemical sunscreen? That is mindful. We're damaging the corals. We're not really respecting the environment and more importantly, our health.
So that illusion comes back into play then, right? We have innovation around a product that makes us feel that we look better. But what you're doing is actually making people look better.
Yes. We go to the and we make sure that long-term that skin's not going to be damaged. So it's respectful. It's done with care and in respect of the physiology of the skin. So we're really respecting the integrity of the skin.
So your scientists are working in a lab. Are they driven by a mandate to find this or that ingredient? I mean, how does the framework for what they do work?
We mandate them on specific project. For example, an objective. Let's say we're always on anti-aging. If you only know, we've evolved so many ways with peptides, with DNA from sperm of salmon. We've worked with DNA from sperm of salmon for 50 years, but now suddenly it's trendy because Kim Kardashian's talking about it. So those are exosomes, talking about Centella asiatica. So each have their sphere, and then we work with professors with different universities. So of course we work a lot with McGill, UCLA,
Yes.
Lyon University in France. So we have great collaborators that are on specific molecules to make a difference and also respecting the planet.
Well, we appreciate you, Manon, Pilon, and your company making illusion and reality meet in great skincare. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me.
We are joined by Margaret Dabbs, who is the CEO and founder of her own brand of hand and foot products. Margaret is the only person I've ever interviewed who is an OBE, has an Order of the British Empire, and we'll ask her to tell us about that. And tell us, Margaret, a little bit about the scale of the company before we dive into our topic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm CEO and founder of Margaret Dabbs London. We're a British beauty brand that's using my podiatry expertise, mixing it with the best of beauty innovation to deliver results-driven, problem-solving, yet luxurious treatments and products to treat the extremities, the hands, the feet, the nails, and the legs. It's quite an interesting business because it has many dimensions and it has many revenue channels, which makes it a really healthy business. So we have our own branded clinics. We have 14 in the UK. We have a couple in the Middle East, one in Singapore. We're a retail brand, so we're in some of the most iconic retail outlets around the world. We're a spa partner, so we're in luxury hotels and spas around the world. We're a travel retail brand on airlines and also in duty free. And we have also got a corporate element where we supply hand wash and hand cream to various establishments, some of them hotel and spa, might be a restaurant, could be hairdressing salons, or even corporate entities.
Amazing. So you have many, many fingers out into the world of beauty and wellness. Great. Well, it's great to have you with us here at We Work Well. This session we are having is, this event we're having at this moment is based on illusion. Like, that's our theme. And I think it applies quite a bit to what we do in beauty. There's a lot about illusion, but there are practical aspects of it beyond the obvious, makeup makes us look better and maybe it's not all the real us, but it also applies to daily business activity, right? And the topic I want to discuss with you is that the best work is invisible. The client doesn't see the things that go on behind the scenes, the HVAC not working or the back of house issues, but it has to run smoothly all the time. And it sounds great, and anyone would say, well, of course that's obvious, but how do you make it happen?
Yeah.
That is the key. So can you elaborate on how that works in your world?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of qualified professionals. We have a lot of podiatrists who really lead the business. And by leading the business, they really lead the training aspect. It means that all elements of the business are elevated based on our podiatry expertise, which means that when it comes to the individual staff that are providing treatments, the fact that they have been really well trained and that they have the background knowledge in medical foot care or health for the feet makes a really big difference. However, of course, it's all got to be in the training. So your staff have to buy into what you're doing. They have to believe in what you're doing. And I think that is key. I think for us, there are so many elements. You know, when you're a service business, it's a very different thing to being just a retail business. So you're going to have those days where people phone in sick, that people are not available, where there are different issues. You can't use the treatment room that was set up to be used. So you have to be reactive at those times. But I think that it's very, very important that beyond being reactive, that it's all in the preparation. And I think that's something that's key for me.
There's a lot of moving parts delivering a beauty service. And, from the client discovering you on the website to phoning or making the appointment to arriving, checking in, meeting the therapist, so many opportunities for things to go wrong. How do you ensure that doesn't happen? Like, what kind of steps can a business take to make sure it always runs smoothly?
So we always strive for operational excellence in everything we do. But I really believe it's all about customer service. And that's something, we're not selling to a customer. We're providing customer service that it is going to be a problem-solving solution to something that they're looking for. We don't push people through the door. They openly walk into our clinic. So for me, providing it from the moment somebody walks in the door, or maybe when they telephone, and how you address them on the telephone, all the way through. I often say to my teams, if customers have a really great experience before they walk in, they're going to be really forgiving. If something slightly goes wrong when they walk, they're not going to jump on it. However, if they've had a really difficult time getting to that point, they're much more likely to be dissatisfied, and you have to work a lot harder. But for me, it's in customer service. So whether that is for somebody picking up the phone, whether it's for the look and feel of the space, the meeting and greeting, and how you look after your customer. So forget the word sales. For me, it's all about customer service.
So I guess that happens in training. I mean, how you drive that home, the importance of that. Because you're right, people walk in of their own volition. They're not forced to come in. And if they come in primed in a happy way, you're absolutely correct. They're going to be more forgiving.
Yeah, so it definitely is training. And you say, how do you make that happen? I think ensuring that everybody in our business understands our values, our mission, our vision, and they can go along with it. And that means, who were we at the very beginning? What do we represent? What are we looking to achieve? I think that's very important. But alongside that, operationally, we have great booking systems, but make sure everybody laughs at me when I talk about belts and braces. We want to make sure that we are sending SMS messages and emails and telephoning where possible to make sure that people really know where they're coming and what time they're due. I think that's really important. And also we have the other operating systems, such as, we have not only the booking systems, but also the product systems where you make sure that your products are in the warehouse, that they're being delivered, that's all kind of automated. So the other thing I say, do you think that the manager of McDonald's decides how many slices of cheese he's having in his branch this week? Of course he doesn't. It's all science. So we make sure that all things like that are automated. So what we sell in retail, we know that needs replenishing, and what we're using it in services, that is automated in that, we use 1 or 2 ounces of a product and we perform 100 treatments. We know what that looks like. So the replenishment, so we make sure that we take the stresses out of it.
Margaret, you didn't start out with all of these branches, right? I mean, how did you begin in business?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one. So I started out doing medical podiatry in consulting rooms. I produced a protocol based on what I really wanted my feet to look like. Traditionally, a podiatrist will cure an ailment, a pedicurist will beautify. And I really saw the benefit of marrying those two up, because I knew how I wanted my feet to look as well as how I wanted them to feel. So I first of all set up treatment protocols. And then while seeing patients, they would ask me, what they could use on hard skin on the feet, cracks in the skin, discoloured nails. And it became really apparent to me that beauty products didn't work on a treatment level. Treatment remedies were often unpleasant to use. So I started out by just sourcing ingredients from around the world. Of course, I did a lot of research. I chose my ingredients really wisely based on what it was I was looking to achieve and what problem we were looking to solve. I created formulas that I worked with pharmacists and pharmaceutical companies, created formulas. And then once I started using them in clinic, people were asking to use them. I was approached by Harrods and asked would I launch my product range there. And I didn't plan
They
all
approached you?
They did approach me, which was wonderful, and they asked me to open a clinic there. And we started off with the feet. Then it became apparent that people were saying to me, what a shame you don't do manicures, what a shame you don't paint our nails afterwards. It became really obvious to me that we should bring in beauticians, and at the same time, I should really formulate for products for the hands and the nails, because everybody was complaining about their aging hands. And then my leg care range came about as a result of patients. I'm doing people's feet, they're complaining about swollen feet, swollen legs. And so, I sourced, again, worked with phlebologists who are medical specialists for the venous system, and created a formulation with a trademarked ingredient that was really targeting tight, heavy, uncomfortable legs, puffiness of the legs, and also kind of restless legs and wiggly legs. It was great for anybody that was having kind of overheating issues. So it all come about really being dedicated to professional formulas that are really going to work. And that's been, I think authenticity is really key here.
So you were able to sort of, as you grew, create that invisible structure behind that helped propel the business forward, like having protocols.
Yeah, indeed. I think that people understanding and the system and everything taking place, I think it's really important. And the invisible side of it comes by ensuring that you're behind the scenes with your team. Often people talk about what is a great leader. And, the big word that comes up, it's a visionary. I would step back from that, and I think a great leader is someone that in times of trouble and times of stress, you're that strength for your team. And I think that that really showcases me and what I am. Also, I've got a real sense of, I think it's really key to a successful business. I listen to everybody. I make my own decisions, but I'm really great at listening to everybody. And, I might start off with a great idea. Just because it's my idea doesn't mean it's the best idea. But actually, people around me might add bits and pieces to it. And suddenly you've got a formula from these different things that have been said to actually come up with what becomes a better idea. So I think the invisible is the strength and holding everybody up behind the scenes.
That's so well said, Margaret. And what you're clearly doing is being that person in the background that's propping everything up. But without you, it wouldn't be there. But you're not out front and center, other than your name is there, of course. Tell us about your OBE. How did that come about?
Yeah, so that was a shock. I received a couple of emails, and the email subject line was something like, honours list 2023. I think it said NYHH 2023. I thought, it looks very strange, deleted the second email, and then I received a phone call asking me to talk to the honours people, and somebody had put me forward, you never get told who, and it was for services for podiatry and business. So that was a really interesting one. I think what I've done is put podiatry on the map, certainly in the UK, and we're now a global brand in 55 countries worldwide. But I believe that, before I started all this, people didn't really use podiatrists the way that we're using now. And this whole health and wellness campaign that is now going on, and it's not going anywhere. It's really speeding up, isn't it? And I think that, I talk about the face, all the beauty products in the world not going to help your face if your feet hurt. Feet are very like teeth. But we can treat a foot, you can walk in pain-free, we can treat it in a pain-free manner, and you walk out feeling like you're walking on air. So that's really very special.
Well, it ties into our theme well, because much of the year we can't see our feet. They're not in sandals, but they are invisible, but holding us up. So thank you, Margaret Dabbs, for making sure they can do that in a healthy manner. It was great to have you to join us here.
Thank you very much.